understand if we're live here. Let's see. Hey guys, sad update. Let's get to the video here and make sure that we're live and that you can hear before I talk for moments. Okay, good. You're here. Yeah.
Does your hoodie have pocket space like this?
Okay. Hold on. Let me just get to... I can't see a thing. It looked like it was putting me live on two different things, and I'm just hoping that it didn't do that. Okay, it says upcoming. Why does it say upcoming? All right, hi everybody. We talked about this case last night. This is Jose Lara. What happened with this little boy is that supposedly his mother went inside to clean up another child. They live on a lot of land in Florida, and they have a lot of children. And she went in to wash up one child, and when she came out, he was gone, the 1-year-old, 18 months, okay? They were searching for him all day, yesterday, through the night, and sadly, they found him in a septic tank on the property behind their house. I am going to read to you what was said at the press conference, okay? Because it's I don't know how good the sound is on it, okay? Otherwise, we can listen to it too. It says, "It's my unfortunate task today to tell you that the search for Jose Lara has ended with the recovery of Jose's body. We're grieving with the family and ask for your prayers as they grieve this unimaginable loss of a son, brother, and grandson. As you know, Jose was reported missing around 1:45 p.m. yesterday, Sunday afternoon. We immediately dispatched available deputies, detectives, and began a canine search. We received their support from Volusia and Marion counties, as well as canine units from St. John's. Also assisting in the search was the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department, the Northeast Fire Incident Management Team, and many other entities who came to give us a hand with the search. The searches last night continued until about midnight, and they resumed around 2 a.m. There was law enforcement presence at the scene at all times, and we made the decision out of an overabundance of caution to drain the septic tank on the property directly behind me. As a contractor arrived and began probing, one of our investigators saw an area that was overgrown but had a spot that appeared to have been disturbed. Once the discovery was made, it appeared a clean out for the septic tank was actually covered with an improvised cover consisting of some type of board, and that piece of plywood or OSB or something like that. This was in an overgrown area that was covered in brush and was not discovered until just a few moments ago, whenever the contractor began probing, looking for the actual clean out site for the septic tank. It was at that point that some of our detectives and the contractor removed some of the debris and dirt that was surrounding the cleanout, at which point they began the process of draining the septic tank and found Jose's body submerged. If you're so inclined, I'd ask all of you to pray for not only the family, but also the first responders who came and gave selflessly of themselves and volunteered their own time to come and look for this child. That's all I have, and I'll be happy to take any questions." So I can listen to that now and then hear if, I don't know if there's any question. I don't think there were any questions, but I will put that on just in case somebody's coming in, so that way I read it. And here, let me put this on.
Staples places your work above everything.
Hang on. Okay, I'm still here with you. So let me see. I did listen to that, and they didn't have questions. So let me see here if I can just pull that up. Hold on, in a better window. So really sad ending. Feel terrible. It's just terrible. Let's see here. Okay. So again, actually he was 22 months old. They were saying 18 months last night. 22 months old, 2 months shy of 2. Found dead in the septic tank, which initially appears to be a tragic accident. The Putnam County Sheriff's Office said that Jose Lara went missing at 1:45 p.m. on Sunday. An Amber Alert was not issued because they're only issued in cases of abduction. Police said there was no evidence to suggest any criminal activity. Officials searched for about 24 hours before discovering Jose's body in a septic tank on his family's property early Monday afternoon. "We are heartbroken," the sheriff's office wrote in a Facebook post. Okay, so let's pull that up. Oh, here's the press conference. Okay, so let's listen to this. Sorry.
Brother and grandson. As you know, Jose was reported missing around 1:45 p.m. yesterday, Sunday afternoon. We immediately dispatched available deputies, detectives, and began a canine search. We received air support from Volusia and Marion counties, as well as canine units from St. John's. Also assisting in the search was the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department, the Northeast Florida Incident Management Team, and many other entities who came to give us a hand with the search. The searches last night continued until about midnight and resumed around 2 a.m. There was law enforcement presence on scene at all times. Today, we made the decision out of an overabundance of caution to drain the septic tank on the property directly behind me. As the contractor arrived and began probing, one of our investigators saw an area that was overgrown but had a spot that appeared to have been disturbed. Once this discovery was made, it appeared the clean out for the septic tank was actually covered with an improvised cover consisting of some type of a board, a piece of plywood or OSB or something like that. This was in an overgrown area that was covered in brush and was not discovered until just a few moments ago whenever the contractor began probing, looking for the actual clean out site for the septic tank. It was at that point that some of our detectives and the contractor removed some of the debris and dirt that was surrounding the clean out, at which point they began the process of draining the septic tank and found Jose's body submerged. Tonight, if you're so inclined, I'd ask all of you to please pray for not only the family, but also each of the first responders who came and gave selflessly of themselves and volunteered their own time to come and look for this child. That's all I have, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Sheriff, do you believe that the little boy ended up in there accidentally?
The investigation is still ongoing. There's nothing to indicate at this point that there was any type of foul play suspected, but it is still an active investigation, so we'll make that determination at a later date.
Okay, in case you can't hear the questions, I'm just going to reiterate them because this sound, they are like on the busiest road possible trying to do this press conference. They did this yesterday too. Somebody asked, is this an accident? He said at this point, this is presumed to be a tragic accident, and I'm paraphrasing what he said. Okay, it's not word for word. He said, but at this point, there is no foul play suspected, but it is an ongoing investigation. So let's hear what else.
Sheriff, is this the home on the property that the family lived on?
Yes, he is.
Did he have to crawl into the septic tank?
They asked if this is the home on the property that the family lived in. Yes, it is, he said.
How high up was it off the ground or in the ground?
So it's actually at ground level. There's a concrete pad that surrounds it, and then around that concrete pad, it was overgrown with some weeds, and then apparently covered in some dirt, and then just beneath the layer of dirt there was actually a piece of plywood that had been there for some time, and it appeared it had rotted to the extent that whenever he stepped on it, he actually fell in.
Okay. Okay, so they said, yes, that plywood that was there was rotted. It was a ground level septic tank. There was a concrete pad around it, but there was an area of dirt, and that plywood was like right there under that dirt, and it was rotted. So it appeared that he stepped on that, and that's how he fell in.
So after he fell in, it appears as though there was, I guess, some spring in the board itself, and it almost came back into the same position that it would have been in originally.
Approximately how far away was this from his house?
Just an estimate, probably 35 to 40 yards.
Okay, the septic tank was 35 to 40 yards from his house, but he said that as he stepped on that plywood, there was spring in it, and it actually came up to almost the original position of the board, which is just a little strange, but yeah.
Sheriff, how's the family doing right now?
I have not been in contact with them. They were just notified prior to the press conference of Jose's passing. But again, our thoughts and prayers go out to them.
And Sheriff, while we all understand that the investigation is certainly not concluded, at least initially you're thinking that there was some sort of accidental fall through that board into the septic tank.
That's what it appears like right now, yes.
Okay, two questions. They asked him, how was the family doing? He said he hasn't seen the families. They were just notified shortly before this press conference. The second question was, then he said thoughts and prayers for them. The second one was, do you believe again that this is accidental? He said at this time, yes. Okay.
And I guess the mother was inside with the other child for we don't know how long.
That's our understanding. As we piece together the investigation, hopefully those details will become more clear to us.
You said the decision was made to drain the septic tank. Was that after multiple other areas had been searched? Because there was a pond in the area. Can you kind of describe what was going on?
Sure. So there's multiple bodies of water that surround the property. We had done our best to search those, as well as using some of our air assets who have infrared capability to search the immediate area and the wooded area around the home. And it's not an uncommon practice in this type of investigation where there's a child missing to search the septic tank as well. It was actually one of our leadership team members who made that call to drain the septic tank, and it was at that point that we unfortunately discovered the child's body.
Okay, they asked him if the mother was inside with the child. He said yes, allegedly that's where she was. And then again, why the decision to drain the septic tank when he said there were multiple bodies of water on the property, ponds and whatnot, and they had searched those and used infrared. And then somebody on the investigation said, let's drain the septic tank, which is not uncommon in these types of cases down there. So that was what they did, and unfortunately then found Jose's body.
Can you clarify what time that decision was made and the time you exactly found him?
I don't know those exact times, but it was within the last couple of hours.
Why was that decision to check the septic tank today and maybe not last night?
Well, we never had any indication that the septic tank had been disturbed last night. And that brings up another point too. As you're aware, we had an overabundance of canines here. One of the interesting things that we've discerned through the canine searches is there was no indication that Jose had left the property. And as I said, this area appeared undisturbed and never gave anyone any indication that there was any way possible that this child could have fallen through the septic tank yesterday.
Sheriff, what's the approximate depth?
Okay, so again, now he just said that they were asking him why the septic tank wasn't searched last night, why wasn't it searched right away. He said that it appeared to be undisturbed. It didn't look like it had been disturbed at all. And the canines, and a large presence of canines, gave no indication that little Jose wandered away from the property at all. So that's what he's saying. So let's hear what else.
Of that septic tank?
I don't know.
Sheriff, we were told that the child only knew Spanish words. Was there any language issues when you guys arrived on scene and communicating with the family and being actively look for the child?
No, actually there wasn't. We actually have several Hispanic deputies who are bilingual, and that certainly aided our ability to communicate with the family.
Speaking about your law enforcement officers, you said pray for them as well. How are they all doing? You got several different counties here helping in this search.
You know, this certainly is not the resolution that we had hoped for. It was our hope and our prayer that Jose was still alive and that we would continue this search indefinitely if needed until we found him. And this was certainly the worst possible case scenario as far as outcome.
Okay, so they were basically asking about language barrier with the parents because the little boy spoke only Spanish. He said no, they had several bilingual officers. There was no language barrier that hindered the investigation at all. And then she was asking about first responders, and he said, well, this is not the resolution, anybody wanted in this case. And basically they're doing as well as possible, but it's a tragic thing and a horrible thing to see that's happened to a 22-month-old, to happen to anyone, but to a child. Okay, let's listen.
Sheriff, how many approximately law enforcement officers have been here and manpower put into this over these last 24 hours?
I'd say over the last 24 hours, with all of our resources combined, approximately 120 to 140 officers and a complement of firefighters and search and rescue personnel as well.
And how large has the grid search been for him?
We've actually gone out you've seen the helicopter circling over today. I'd say we covered an area during the ground search of at least 1.5 miles to 2 square miles, and no less than probably a 5 to 7 square mile area radius for the helicopter.
And if you could speak candidly about how quickly a child can sometimes accidentally get away from the cameras, like a scenario like this.
Absolutely. These things happen in just a blink of an eye, and it's terribly unfortunate what's happened here. But it serves as a reminder to all of us who have children and are parents that there's never an opportunity to leave them unsupervised or to take your eyes off of them. Otherwise, something unfortunately tragic like this might happen. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, so that was the end. Just, not take your eyes off your kids. Tragic things can happen in seconds. And, it's just terrible. Let's see. And the rotted board was intact. Well, I guess what he's saying is probably it kind of went in and then sprung out of the hole. And it seemed to almost go back into the original position, which is strange. But I can't. I'm no expert on that. But it is still an active investigation. Okay. Now, I know I shouldn't say a lot of you. Some of you are thinking that he didn't fall in there, but you understand the medical examiner will be able to see that, because if he was put in after, his body won't have the same signs, okay? Because if he drowned in the septic tank, that's going to show in the autopsy. And if something happened to him prior and he was put in there, it's going to be totally different. So, there's no point to argue that until we get the results of the autopsy, but that is what they're saying now. It doesn't look like any foul play. It looks like a tragic accident, and it was their septic tank. Yes, but Irene, I think it was a little bit of a distance. What did they say? 300, 400, 500 feet from in back of the house, something like that. So we'll wait and see. Right now, it's so tragic. The parents' prayers, the little boy needs prayers. Everybody does. The first responders, that's had to be horrific. And no one wanted an outcome like that. So, yeah. Let me see what else you guys are saying here. Um, and she isn't like Carolyn. Who isn't like Carolyn? I love her, and she isn't like Carolyn. She's life size. Okay. Oh, you got your doll? Well, I'm glad if you're glad. That's good. That's always good if that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're happy. This was an accident, but the news is teeming with little ones being abused and murdered by family and trusted friends. Yes, yes. Yes, that's true. That is true. Yeah, you were praying. Yeah, we all were praying. Oh, it's right on. Yeah, that's basically a freeway. I don't know why they don't go somewhere more quiet. I have no idea how the home passed an inspection, Amy. I don't know. Hi, Colby. It just was last night. He went missing yesterday, Colby, and was found this afternoon. Yeah, but Earthbound, as we have seen in many cases, including the Watts case, there's a difference. And you know if someone was dead prior to going into a liquid and drowning, or, you know what I mean? There's a difference. It doesn't matter. They're going to know, even if something makes its way into the lungs, they know whether it's a death by drowning or that someone is placed there afterwards. Well, Captain Lee fan, you don't understand why the mother left him outside. There was a lot of children there. I don't know. Sometimes maybe she told an older child to watch. Maybe she thought she was going to be in for 10 seconds. You know, mistakes happen. A lot of us have had some mistakes, and by the grace of God, there's nothing happened. But this was a mistake that something tragic happened. So, yeah, sometimes, you know, I'm not going to sit here and judge her for that. I mean, there's no way in the world she would have ever wanted that to happen to her son. And it's something she'll feel guilt about for the rest of her life. So I don't need to make her feel any worse about that. I don't think it's something she would ever do, you know, to think, okay, I don't care if something happens to him. So a lot of times you think, oh, I'm just going in for a second, and you know what happens. There's distractions, something happens, and you're out, whatever, you know, hindsight's 20/20. He was almost 2 years old. I don't know, you know. Happens very quickly. Happens in a split second. In a split second, nobody wants it to happen. Hi, Nana Patty. Yeah, it's very sad. Very, very sad. But that's the update. Again, he went missing yesterday and was found today in the septic tank. Exactly. Turn the page. You know, she needs prayers and compassion. And no mother would, you know what I'm saying? If everything is a tragic accident, you're not going to find any mother. Some mothers may make a careless decision, but what mother hasn't made, you know, something? So many of us have, you know, 1 second our kids have gotten out of our sight for a minute, and they, like I said, for the grace of God, nothing happened to our children. But yeah, you just never know. You never know. It just takes a split second. Yeah, it's avoidable, but Irene, especially when you have a lot of children and you could get distracted by something, you know, a lot of things are avoidable, you know. It's just, it's unfortunate. It really is. It's more than, it's tragic. It's heartbreaking. But she's probably for the rest of her life will be beating herself up over that. It wasn't open. There was some dirt, and then on top of that was a board, probably made of plywood, that was rotted. And it appears that he stepped on that, fell in, but there was enough spring on the board, is what they're saying, that the board almost returned itself to the original position. So they didn't seem, when they were checking things, that the septic tank had been disturbed at all. Okay, and there were other bodies of water on the property. There was a pond, and there were other bodies of water, and they were searching with infrared, they were searching with dogs, and all of that. And nothing was leading them there. And they did it today to clean it out as an overabundance of caution. And then they saw a little bit of, when they looked further, a little bit of disturbed area. They found the board. They saw the board was rotted. And upon getting in there and cleaning it out, they discovered his body in there. So, yeah, that's what it is. It's very sad, very tragic. Oh yeah, that's what it's appearing, Nicole, that he stepped and fell in, and that there was no foul play. Again, it's an open investigation. It's, when the medical examiner gives the cause of death, should something come back that the child did not die in a way that one would die in a septic tank by drowning, that's going to be an issue. But right now, it's a tragic accident, no foul play suspected, and everyone, including the first responders, of course, the family and little boy, need prayers. Yeah, I don't know, Keener Crafts, I don't know. This is all the information in the press conference. That's it that I can tell you there. I will, before we go, I'll read the transcript of the press conference one more time for anybody that's just coming in, because it does explain things. Let's see here. Hang on a minute here. Okay. It's a plywood board that covered the septic tank. Initially didn't look like it had been disturbed, but investigators believe the boy stepped on the rotted cover and fell in. Okay, so here I'm going to read the transcript again. So he says, "Good afternoon. It's my unfortunate task today to tell you that the search for Jose Lara has ended. With the recovery of Jose's body, we're grieving with the family and ask for your prayers as they grieve this unimaginable loss of a son, brother, and grandson. As you know, Jose was reported missing around 1:45 p.m. yesterday, Sunday afternoon. We immediately dispatched available deputies, detectives, and began a canine search. We received their support from Volusia and Marion counties, as well as canine units from St. John's. Also assisting in the search was the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the Jacksonville Fire Department, and the Northeast Fire Incident Management Team, and many other entities who came to give us a hand with the search. The searches last night continued until about midnight. They resumed again at 2 a.m. There was law enforcement presence on scene at all times today. We made the decision out of an overabundance of caution to drain the septic tank on the property directly behind me. As a contractor arrived and began probing, one of our investigators saw an area that was overgrown but had a spot that appeared to have been disturbed. Once this discovery was made, it appeared the clean out for the septic tank was actually covered with an improvised cover consisting of some type of board, like plywood or OSB, they said, or something like that. There was an overgrown area that was covered in brush, and that was not discovered until just a few moments ago when the contractor began probing, looking for an actual clean out outside for the septic tank. It was at that point that some of our detectives and the contractor removed some of the debris and dirt that was surrounding this clean out, at which point they began the process of draining the septic tank and found Jose's body submerged tonight. If you're so inclined, I'd ask you all to please submerge, not tonight, they have this transcript wrong, so submerged, and then it says tonight. If you're so inclined, I'd ask you all to please pray for not only the family, but also for each of the first responders who came and gave so selflessly of themselves and volunteered their own time to come and look for this child. That's all I have, and I'll be happy to take any questions. And we went over the questions just before, so if you just got here, you could rewind back. But that's all there is right now. And yeah, I've got to go. So you guys, thanks for watching, and tragic story, and we don't want to see this. We wanted him found alive, obviously, but very, very sad. So I'll talk to all of you later. Have a good day, and take care. All right? Bye-bye.